Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies. Each episode is about one singular movie. But first, let me invite you, yes, you the listener, to join our fan vote. We need movies for that. So if you want to request a movie, you can get your movie pick in the next vote, which always happens during Tay's episode weekend. We need obviously we have movies that we're gonna shuffle in there, but you can always do your suggestion. Any new suggestions get first dibs in the poll. Very nice. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves before we introduce the movie. I am Yemmy the Ferret. Who am I here with?
Greedy Waffles.
A Mission.
And Callus.
No special names for this movie.
I was thinking about it and I couldn't think of anything.
Well, how are y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Doing good. Just got back from vacation myself, so
Nice.
I swapped out with Tay.
Yeah. I wish I had just come back from vacation again.
I wish I was in line for a vacation.
We all deserve a vacation. Let's go.
Well,
I'm gonna get mine in like 2 weeks.
There you go.
So yeah.
So I guess you're after Callus there, Greedy.
Okay. Count me in.
Callus, go ahead and introduce the movie for today.
With pleasure. So the movie I recommended is Unleashed, released in 2005. It was directed by Louis Leterrier. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It stars Jet Li, the legendary Bob Hoskins, Morgan Freeman, and Kerry Condon, among others. And the plot goes: a man enslaved by the mob since childhood and raised into behaving like a human attack dog escapes his captors and attempts to start a new life. So, as you all know, I love martial arts, but I have to ask first: does this movie fit the musical criteria that the last couple of movies they've had?
I say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It was
like
just
very-
enough.
Just enough, yeah.
Just enough music.
So yeah, like, what are you guys' overall thoughts on the movie as a whole? Liked it? Good, bad?
Well, I feel like that's
well,
end of
yeah,
or end of episode material, but
Oh, I'm not asking for like a overview of. Okay, never mind.
I felt like some of the choreography, like the fighting scenes, could have been a little better. Than
Yes.
a few slaps here and there.
I'm
but-
so glad you said that because I felt like I was the only person here who was going to be like, the fighting wasn't really that amazing in my opinion.
Maybe my standards are just too high for a Jet Li movie. I don't know.
Well, I was kind of comparing it in my head to like Drunken Master since that we watched that movie last. No, it's been a while ago now, but I just remember how long the cuts were. You actually saw the moves that Jackie Chan is doing and all that. And when you go to a movie like this, it's 2005, so the editing is going to be really snappy and fast. But I wanted to see more of the it was just, I think the cuts were just there was too many cuts. You couldn't really tell exactly what was going on, and I also felt like the not Jet Li, but I think the people attacking him, it seemed like their hearts just weren't in it.
It just seemed like it was just so slow, and like it was always seemed like a one-on-one. Like there was always one person attacking Jet Li at a time.
yeah. And
That
to be
is-
fair, yeah, me. If you were told to attack Jet Li, your heart would not be in it.
Well, we're talking about the
Right.
context of the movie, and I mean, even like the pit fight where those people in like, I don't know, bondage clothing are all attacking him. I just like
Yeah.
it just you think about Drunken Master and you think about this movie, and like, yeah, Drunken Master was also like this slapsticky kind of over the top thing, but the combat seemed more real in that movie, and however long ago that movie was made.
The one part I really noticed of that scene was when they all got weapons, they all started attacking Jet, but they still are taking turns. Like, I'll hit, then y'all hit. So he's able to like dodge, block both of them at the same time because they're going one after the other.
It's funny you mentioned that because like they didn't make it a point to where like he's supposed to behave like an attack dog, So in the movie, like you see him just going after one person at a time. That's how like an attack dog would do it. So that's how they made him do it. And like the few times to where like a second person would try to like attack him also, like he just like push him or shove him off, and then they just continue to attack the one person.
Yeah.
So and I did notice like also with the editing, the way like the camera zooms in and like the cuts they made also kind of like made it seem like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like they just really wanted to focus on just one person at a time. So that was
even
definitely
for like the beginning of the movie where you first meet Bob, or he's Bart, right, in the movie.
Yeah, Bart.
Where the bad guy's pinned against the desk. It's like Bob like had like 17 cuts like to get to the guy. I was like, what's going on here?
I did not.
It's like cut to he's like standing, then the next thing he's doing is like licking his finger. I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah. Okay, I do remember that. But I think that was just the 2005 snappy cut look. I will say though, if they intentionally were trying to like imitate an attack dog with just the one at a time, they did a good job. If it was not intentional, the fighting could have been better.
Yeah, that's also why like his fighting style isn't like as normal as Jet Li's normal fighting style is, because they just wanted to focus on this just like the savage fighting style to where just want to attack one person and just want to devastate one person at a time, really. So it's not like any kind of traditional fighting style.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my problems aren't with the one-on-one thing. It's more so with just how the choreography is done in general. I just didn't really find it. I don't know. I didn't find it really that good. But I mean, it was still fun to watch. But I don't know. There was something about like the editing combined with the choreography that's kind of, I don't know, didn't make it amazing to me.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that too, because like regarding the pit fight with all the weapons, there was something that seemed like so familiar about when they all started fighting with weapons. And surely enough, I looked it up, and it's the same exact fight choreographer, Yuen Wo Ping, that also did the Matrix movies. So like it's just very reminiscent of the fight in the Matrix Reloaded and the Chateau fight, where like Neo's fighting all the guys with weapons. Like so many moves were so similar, and I that stood out to me a lot.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I totally see that.
Yeah, it's too bad I haven't seen that movie in years. I don't remember.
Yeah, I do remember that fight scene with they had all the weapons and stuff, and yeah, it was just very similar movements, and yeah, that guy's got a style.
Yeah.
No, that's necessarily a bad style, but
it fits for certain movies. Like Matrix is very like unrealistic fighting, to where everything's like overly choreographed. To where a movie like Drunken Master, it's like more grounded and like more realistic. So it's like more natural fighting.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
slapsticky, but natural.
Right.
If you were going to fight with a ladder, that's what it would look like.
Right, and I do believe they used like a lot of wires too, and like in these choreographs.
Oh yeah, the one that stood out is the guy in the pool when he picks Jet Li like off the ground straight up into like above his head. I'm just like,
yeah.
It's like, look what I have. You guys just hit him. I also felt like a few like of the enemies, like I know they're supposed to be bigger and badder, took a little bit too many hits that would have like knocked them out a long time ago.
Yeah,
like that white boss guy, whatever, at the end.
Yeah, the guy in the flowing robes and was
the white robe.
Yeah, it's like, I am a kung fu master. It's like, okay.
A little too much of a beating in that bathroom where they're hugging each other.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite scenes when they're like like trying to fight in such a confined space.
Yeah, I actually did really like that. Like that was the one that stood out. I was like, that's kind of cool. Finally, it's not just big open areas lunging around. It's just confined in this tiny little space.
It reminded me of the fight in. I hate to keep going back to Drunken Master, but like when they were fighting under the train, when they were just like trying to do all these different moves in such a confined space. I do like when movies like kung fu movies try to do that.
I do
Yeah,
too.
but they were like blocking each other in like Drunken Master. Here, they were actually getting punched.
Yeah.
Like he was punching holes in the walls. I was like, come on.
And I mean, they were punching holes through the sheetrock. Sheetrock's not that hard to punch holes through.
Yeah, but he got his elbow dislocated, and then he punches the wall. You know,
Yeah,
it's all,
that was
all
one
good.
thing.
You know,
That was the one thing. I thought, yeah, his arm like got dislocated, maybe broken, and then he's just like, "No, I'm cool." I'm like,
Just quickly relocated it back. No big deal.
yes.
I do kind of wish that we had more background on that guy, because you just kind of see him in like the fight pit, just sitting there, and then all of a sudden he's with Bart at the end or close to the end. And
I
you're
feel like there were some like deleted scenes that we missed out on.
well, that's the thing. I watched the unrated version, which I think is the
it's
director.
only a minute longer.
Yeah, it's only a minute longer, so they added like I don't know, probably like a few
more boobs.
yeah.
Or Bob.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they added because the movie didn't seem too much different from because like sometimes you'll be able to like really notice when a scene is added in, right? But I don't really notice anything like that when I was watching the unrated version. But I do wish that we had more, like just do like a few lines of dialogue in passing when Bart is trying to, when he looks over at him and maybe have Bart ask the guy in charge like, who the fuck's that or whatever,
Yeah.
But I
That's
did.
our Kung Fu Master for hire.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He'll just randomly side with you at any time. So
Yeah.
And they make him stand out so much too. And like when they're in the club, they just focus on him for like a few seconds.
yeah,
It's like, okay, so what are we supposed to get out of that?
I did have a problem with the movie where there was a lot of characters who kind of just didn't get like a conclusion. I don't know if you guys agree, but there was a few characters in there like the one guy at the end who was dual wielding pistols and going crazy. We never saw him again after Bart went down.
That's true.
The ringleader guy who was like trying to who was paying Bart to have Danny fight, like we never really saw what happened to them. And I think that like normally I would be like, oh, we don't really need to know about these secondary characters, but I mean I kind of do want to know like what happened to them. Like did the police raid the boss pit thing or whatever?
Did they end up going to jail or
yeah?
And the guy who they first, I guess he was just done when he tried to kill Bob or Bart like that first time where they ran his car with a semi and shot him up.
Yeah, what happened to that guy? Yeah.
Did Bob get revenge on him or did he not know it was him? I mean, he had to. Like, if it had just been the car, if it had just been the car wreck, he probably wouldn't have known. But the fact that people showed up and shot them.
Yeah.
Also, how did Bob survive all these car wrecks?
Yeah, he's Bob Hoskins. He's unkillable.
I understand like Danny and maybe the people who had airbags with them, but friggin' Bob, who is like what 50 something in this movie, I feel like he would have more than just like a shoulder in a
and being laid down for a month.
Yeah.
Like he took the brunt of the truck.
He took the bullets.
Then he took the bullets. The man should have been dead.
And then the second car crash. I mean, the second car crash seemingly killed the driver, but then he came back in the white car later.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell like when someone's gonna die or if they're just like knocked out. It's hard to tell in this one.
Yeah.
Does anyone actually die in this movie?
That's what I mean. I think the bald guy does.
The one guy who got his throat. Yeah, he got his throat punched.
Oh yeah, that guy.
The pit.
And then the guy that got shot multiple times because Danny wanted to kill him.
Oh yeah.
No. As we saw in this movie, being shot several times is not death.
Yeah, that is not a death sentence.
Well, he didn't have any bullet holes or blood on him, so I think Bob might have missed.
Yeah.
No, he had one in his shoulder. That's why he had the cast on. But
no, the BDSM guy who was shot after Danny didn't want to kill him.
He had the bullet jump thing where he's just like shaking because I'm being shot. How they do in movies.
I mean, you kind of did see like bullets going through him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he was lying on the ground, there was nothing. Same thing also with the first car crash. They did this really long cut where you could see that nobody was in the car. And I'm like,
Really?
okay, if you're gonna do a cut like this, make it like a second. But they lingered on it for a couple of seconds. You could tell like no one was in the car when it crashed. At least with the black SUV, you didn't like see inside the cab, so you couldn't tell that there was no one in there. But with that, I mean, obviously it's a freaking dump truck running into the car, so yeah, of course they don't want to have actual people in there. But also maybe don't use that angle because there's there's literally no one in the car, and you think like, oh, did Danny jump out and everyone else jumped out before the truck hit? I don't know. Maybe it's a different car. I'm not sure. And then they were all in there, so I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I didn't notice, but I believe it.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either.
Yeah, I just thought maybe it's only in the uncut, unrated version. I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's the 1 minute.
Yeah,
because
that's
I did.
1 minute.
That's the extra minute there.
Yeah,
His
the one
initial
minute.
minute showing the car.
just to show how they actually survived. They disappeared for a second.
That's the one scene Yemmy has on us.
They did the
wanted to
trick.
get-
They did the trick in Elden Ring. They got off their horse as soon as the enemy was about to attack, and then they got back on. They got back on a little bit too early, though. So, they took the brunt of those bullets.
They took some damage, but nothing life threatening.
Yeah, they had that like they were living on 1 point of health.
Yeah.
Right.
There's an aspect of this movie we hasn't talked about yet, which is the whole part with Morgan Freeman and his stepdaughter.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about much about like the actual story.
Well, Callus, why don't you lead us off with some story tips?
Story tips, sure. Well, first of all, before we get into like the family, what do you guys think about like the way the whole situation with Danny was handled, to where like he was kept like under the grates, like in Bart's office, and he was basically just treated and fed like a dog.
I mean that was the point.
Like,
Yeah, he was treated shittily. And I
Yep.
don't think shittily is a word, but
yeah, and of course, being raised like that since childhood, he didn't know any better. He didn't really defend himself or do anything, because that's just the life he knew. Very, very sad.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they could have gone away with the chain necklace. I don't know.
Well, you talking about the collar around his neck?
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
Color.
I mean, obviously the collar. Because I felt like the collar was a trigger too. Like when Bob
Yes, that.
unleashed, unhooked the. Well, that's the name of the movie.
It's on
Unleashed.
the title.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! But essentially, him unclipping the collar unleashes the beast.
But
Because
then,
you could tell later on when when Bob's getting fucked up and he doesn't have his collar off, he doesn't do anything because he doesn't know, or he knows.
Bob, if Bob had actually showed some mercy to him, he would have treated him like a dog and actually helped him.
Probably.
But Bob didn't need it for the pool fight. But I guess that goes into his character growth. I guess we'd talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of character growth, whenever the first car accident happens and he stumbles upon was Sam, right? That's his name? Yeah, Sam.
He doesn't stumble upon Sam. He goes back to Sam.
Yeah, he already
goes
met
to
Sam after that.
Right, he stumbled upon him earlier, and then he went back to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like
of course,
that
he
initial.
takes him in.
Yeah, I like that initial scene with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
I he's very trusting very easily of this random person who doesn't talk too much,
That's just how Morgan Freeman is, okay?
I was saying, Morgan Freeman is Morgan Freeman.
He's just a
Yeah,
very
he's got
nice
a
man.
sixth sense. Yeah.
The one thing,
And
I liked how Morgan Freeman's the one who's like, "What's that strange ticking noise?" And
Yeah.
yeah. But it's funny how like he gets taken in by this family, and then he just behaves so much like as if he was a small child. So he's like very shy and quiet, and he has to like kind of slowly open up to everyone.
Yeah.
I guess it's what it does to you being like locked away in a cage. You don't really have any social skills at all, any type of like.
Well, I mean, he pretty much had progressed, to a child. He was a child when he was taken in, so he hadn't really progressed past that.
Right.
I mean,
Makes
Bob, I'm
sense.
sure taught him some basic stuff, but
I think Jet Li's acting was like very good, like the way he behaves when he gets like when he's fighting, he's not scared at all. He's like literally a beast. But like in normal everyday situations, he gets like so scared, and you see him in his face. It's like so out of his element.
Yeah, he was definitely a standout in this movie, and this was his first debut, right?
Like
yeah,
American debut.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
yeah, I don't know. I think it wasn't, but
No,
I
no,
don't.
no, it's not. He did 90s movies. What was the one called? Romeo plus Juliet. Wasn't he one of that?
What?
I don't know, but I mean, he is like I looked him up because like I was worried they were going to try to do the whole romance thing between him and Victoria, and I'm like, what is their age difference? And he is 20 years older than her.
Oh, it's called Romeo Must Die.
Oh yeah, I remember
Ah.
Romeo Must Die.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Oh, and he was in Lethal Weapon 4.
Was he?
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess some bad guy somewhere.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
someone in the crowd, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they did kind of establish some sort of romance between him and
A little bit. By the end, this seemed more like familial, like older brother, little sister kind of.
yeah, and I thought that's what they were going for from the beginning, but when she kisses him like twice, and I don't know,
Yeah, that
it
was-
was it was a little awkward in there for a little
Yeah.
bit, but once
Looks
they
like
Especially
that
when they're
after-
like, she's like, I've been 18 for like 2 weeks. And you're
yeah.
like,
Yeah, it was very weird. Like the one scene they were like sitting in the bed, and it looked like she was gonna go in for a kiss, but then she ended up
Yeah.
just kissing him in the cheek.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
was like, I, they did a good part of, in that scene where she takes off his collar too. They did a good job of building up some tension there because you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? And I was really expecting him to kind of go a little ape shit or something, but my expectations were skewed. It was a nice change.
Yeah.
Did you guys think that the scene where he's just like, spending time with the family, did that take like a little bit too long in the movie? Because I remember like when I watched it as a kid, I thought that it just that lasted way too long, and I just wanted to just wanted it to get to the next action scene. But watching it now, I'm like, no, I thought it was like very well paced. I didn't mind the length at all.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was
It
good
was just
to
a
see
dumb
his
kid.
his character growth and stuff. So
Yeah, I enjoyed all the character growth stuff, that slow transformation.
Yeah, I was almost like I was enjoying that so much. I was almost hoping that they wouldn't go back to like
Yeah.
action in the movie. Even though it's fine that they went back. Obviously they do the big grand finale and stuff like that. But it's also like I wish that we had a little bit more time with that stuff because he like literally was just invited to stay with them and go back to America, and then he's like going to buy the hats with his own money for the first time, and you're like, oh, things are getting pretty good, and then all of a sudden it's like, and
He
Bye-bye.
runs into the guy.
stupid pistol guy.
yeah, stupid. What's his name?
Didn't even have a name. Who knows? No one cares.
Petey, Georgie, one of those.
One of those. They were interchangeable.
Right. Any
I
other
do-
particular scene?
Well, I was just for a sec. I wanted to go back to the red light scene. The first time we were introduced to Sam. And does anyone else kind of find it weird that like these people who know Bart's reputation, they know that he's got this killer dog man, and two people in like the same day were just like, nah. Like, does that just seem weird?
Well, the guy in the jewelry shop, he had a plan to just try to
Yeah.
make sure this color stays on.
Yeah. But it just seems weird that, like, one, why would he leave him out there and call him in? It's like, no, go in there with him just to be like, show, his strength, but whatever. Bart was dumb.
Maybe he wanted to trick the people and make him think that Danny was not with him.
Maybe. I don't
No
know. I
idea.
feel like it could have been a little more clear with some dialogue or something, but just it seemed weird to have them all like turn on Bart, whatever, in a day. And then
didn't he have like a line where he's like, "Oh, we can't let us, show
Yeah.
weakness. We got to get back in the game." But it's like you were just like kicked on the ground for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe just like say, "Yeah, tomorrow. We'll pick up the money tomorrow." But yeah, I agree. Like they definitely should have had him closer to the situation that was going on, And I don't know. He could, Bart could already tell that Danny wasn't like paying attention to what he was saying. So like trusting him to run into the room when a light blinks, it's like, it just seems really stupid.
Especially to trust him after, failing once already.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
I
he
guess
probably.
not failing, but you know what I mean.
I mean,
Julie-
if he would have probably put him like any other room at all that didn't have any pianos, he probably would have, accomplished his task. But the fact
Well-
that he's like so infatuated with pianos, he's in a room full of them. It's bound
he
to
would
happen.
have accomplished his task if it wasn't for Sam. No.
Maybe. Oh no, he kind of like turned around before Sam showed up.
yeah.
Like he turned around and started pushing the key.
Going back to the Julie scene, would you guys think it was funny that Bart kicked the guy in the nuts or stepped on him, whatever?
Yeah.
I mean,
There
not
was
a
a-
funny ha, but
There was a few punchlines that were unexpected, especially when Jet Li went back to Sam and he's like, "My mom's a whore."
The kiss is wet and nice.
That was
that's how a kiss should be. Well, it depends on your how much wetness you like, I guess. But
I guess. But yeah, like I was watching this with my brother, and like when Danny said like, "My mother's a whore," like we both like laudably laughed on that scene.
that scene was unexpected. I was not expecting that. My mom, she's a whore.
Any other scene you guys want to talk about? Bring up?
So I guess the final fight scene. I think we should talk about that,
What happened
I
to
would-
all the guys with the guns?
right? And how
Yeah.
did they know he was up in that apartment with all the windows like were covered with curtains or newspaper or something? And they all just like he pokes his head out. Just a second, they all run forward and start shooting him. It's like, I'm sorry, no, you can't see through windows that clearly when someone's peeking through to know it's them. Also, no one was on that street. Like, this isn't the street Bart parked on or anything.
I find it amazing that like throughout the entire movie, like not a single cup shows up in any of the scenes.
Yeah.
That too.
But yeah, that final scene is kind of like a mess with them going like just all over the apartment complex, and just it takes place across so many different parts of it. It's
And
kind
then
of a big
somehow they
mess.
end up back where they started.
yeah.
Yeah, the fact like that lady in the shower, second they were out of there, she called the cops.
You would hope so.
She wouldn't. Like, yeah, no one called the cops with all the shit going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, the other thing is like, okay, so this fight pit that they have going on, I know I'm stepping back a little bit, but like, how do the police not like aren't there like a ton of missing people who were just like dead from that fight ring or whatever? Like, I don't understand.
They're all underground people. They don't count.
Ah,
No one cares about them.
They're all the criminals from the slums, and then they just dispose of the body, so they're not missed.
here's
I'm
another
sure
thing.
they would have found the bodies eventually, though, and I'm sure they were looking into it, maybe,
Probably.
or being paid off.
We'll never know because we never saw one policeman in the entire
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But the other thing that kind of was like kind of irking me a little bit was Bob kept saying how he wants Danny alive, and then he would go and shoot him, like try and shoot him, like aim
Yeah.
right at him and shoot him. And
Same
then
with
at
the
the end of
other
the
guy.
movie, he's like, he puts down the gun. He's like, I just want you to come back. It's like, dude, do you want him dead or not? Like, you've literally had all your guys shooting him. You shot him yourself. What is with this? What is with this going on right now?
he is a complicated character.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if he wants him dead or alive.
And
But I
at
love
that
he
point,
tells the one guy, like his one guy's like, don't shoot him. I want him alive. And then immediately next time we see that guy, he's shooting at him.
yeah.
It is, yeah. I did notice like when he threw the gun down and he changed his whole face, like with tears coming down in his eyes. Like you can tell that he actually had like strong feelings towards him. Like he thought of him as his own child. At least I thought.
Well, yeah, I definitely see that a little bit. It's not necessarily his own child, but his child.
Yeah, he raised him basically.
Yeah.
Raised him like a dog, but sure.
Well, you care about dogs, right?
Of course.
There you go.
Yeah,
But,
the one
yeah.
thing, like I said already, is just like all the gunmen after Bob gets knocked out or whatever is like, where do they go? What happened to them? They just they're like, oh, we haven't heard from Bob. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all at
Well-
that door, and Bob's like, stay here until I come back or whatever.
And he didn't come back, and they stayed there like good obedient dogs. And then
But
and
when
you've
you
seen
like,
that episode of Futurama, right?
yeah, but
Don't
when
remind
you-
me about
Oh
that.
yeah, oh man, oh man.
like, hey, 10 minutes later, we probably should go check on him.
And by that point, he was already in police custody.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe
Oh.
who knows?
Cops
there
may
you
not
go.
exist in this movie, though, this universe. So who knows?
But how
There you
did
go. Maybe
Chet-
that's what happened. The cops showed up and then like all these guys disappeared.
Yep.
Ran away. That's what happened. There.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
and Jet Li didn't get captured or anything because they know he's a good guy, right?
Danny, you mean?
Danny is a good guy. He was just raised poorly. All his kills are on Bob's hands.
Yes.
Or Bart's. We probably shouldn't say Bob. Bob is I'm sure, was a wonderful man. Is he dead?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure, and I wasn't meant to look it up, but I didn't.
Yeah, he
Um,
is. He died 2014.
Okay,
Oh,
Oh, never mind. We might have said that before, and I forgot.
yeah.
probably.
Well, either way, Bob, I'm sure, was a lovely person, and we shouldn't put Bert's atrocities onto him or Bart. What was it, Bert or Bart?
Bart.
Here's something that I found interesting, and I saw this in someone else's review. This movie takes place in Glasgow, but we never hear one single like Scottish accent in the entire movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I just thought
what
it took
about-
place in England, somewhere in
Yeah.
England, but it
Yeah,
actually
same
takes
here.
place in Scotland.
Yeah.
Well, what
no,
about the
I
shop lady? She had.
I thought
kind of
the
a
shop
strong
lady
accent.
had. Yeah, she had a Scottish-ish accent.
Yeah, but at that point, like I've heard so many just normal like English accents, I just don't think
Yeah.
about it. I just go, oh,
Yeah.
Scottish accent in the English town, But
Interesting. Yeah.
so they didn't,
didn't-
they didn't like
dignified
never
lady.
mention.
They
never
didn't
mention
nail
at
the
all the
setting.
location.
Well, yeah.
They did. They said they were in Glasgow at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Misleading.
Sam.
I would have
think
never
Sam
noticed
did.
if he didn't say anything.
Well, it's a good thing I said something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution to this conversation.
Now we know that there's no Scottish people in Glasgow. I'm
Except for the
sure
one
the
shop
way-
lady.
Yeah, I'm sure the way we're saying that too, Glasgow, that just our Scottish listeners are cringing, and I'm sorry.
Yes, we apologize to Scotland and all its
Forgive
wonderful
this-
people.
Forgive this horrible American, ignorant American. Unless I said it right, then cool.
Yeah, if we said it right, then disregard all that.
Glasgow, maybe.
Glasgow.
I also,
yeah, it's Glasgow. I think.
Yeah. I also just randomly thought of the. I like that the one scene where he stepped into the ring with this huge guy, and then the big guy looks at the boss and is like, "Oh, sorry, boss, not today." And then he just walks out of the ring.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
He looked at him and this guy looks scrappy. I'm not scrappy. I'm not dealing with a scrappy guy. I'm out.
All right. Any other scenes that we missed out on?
I mean, you got the cute ice cream scene. That was cute. Where he ate a whole thing of ice cream.
Oh, the very final scene, like in the concert hall.
Oh yeah.
I did not expect this to happen, but like when she steps out and she dedicated the song to Danny, and then she sat down and started playing, the song from his childhood. I did not expect to feel emotions in that scene, but I did.
I
I was expecting it, honestly. Sorry.
Well, I'm like, she's playing the song that his mom was
His
playing when
mom
she got
died.
shot in the head. Like,
Yeah, that was my
I don't
thought.
know
I was like,
about that. I don't know about that.
this is good. I was like, this probably bring bad memories for him, not giving him good memories.
Because us as an audience already like associate that song with that scene where he has that PTSD flashback, which is really well done. And then she plays at the end, and I'm still feeling those, like, I have those emotions return of, like, his mom getting shot in the head, and you're like, I don't know if this is, like, the best idea for the ending song,
Yeah. I thought the exact same thing when she started playing. I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't having the same feels as you, Callus.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Maybe he just associated that with, just his mom and not with those memories. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a song that he liked a lot and he played throughout the movie.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were trying to go for that. And he did present that, in his acting that's, was a touching song for him to hear. In real life, though, I was like, that would not be a good song for them to hear.
Yeah, I'm sure that, I mean, that takes place, what, months after what happens in the movie or whatever?
At least a month, because it was like
1 month
till her performance.
So I'm not sure that he's had enough time to, I don't know, get over
all that.
process all that. Yeah, it just doesn't, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me, I guess.
Yeah, me either.
Like, I understand in the movie he seems fine, which is good, but to me personally, like, the last time we heard that song, we had that flashback of his mom's brutal death, and that's the only thing I could think of.
Yep. And he, I'm sure, was suffering PTSD from that in real life, would have been, and that would be a trigger for him to go right back to that scene. Most likely. I mean, that's how I viewed it. At least
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it would have triggered him to go back to that mental spot.
But I'm glad you guys liked it.
What was that, Greedy?
What was that?
He just starts beating up everyone in the crowd.
Well, yeah, I mean the song wasn't the trigger for that. Now, if he had his collar on still and it got taken off in the crowd, then I would understand him beating people up then.
Yeah.
What if, like, Morgan Freeman was like, he took the bow tie off at the end, and he was like, "Get him!"
Yeah.
Welcome to your new family. If the judges don't give her a standing ovation, kill them.
But I'm very glad that of all the people to finally take down Bart, I'm glad it was Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
With a potted plant.
That would kill him probably as well. Those potted, I think that's terracotta pots, are really, really
hard,
strong and hard. It probably would have crushed his brain. And he's like, "You can't kill him. I get to kill him."
Well, Bob at that point has survived 3 car crashes, so, and bullet wounds. I mean, he's either he's one more hit and dies, or he's invincible.
Yeah, he's Wilson Fisk.
Yeah,
Scottish Wilson Fisk,
basically.
Almost as invincible as a white Drake boy.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the movie would have been a little more of a difficult watch if it wasn't for Morgan Freeman?
Yeah,
kind of taking over the role.
Yeah, I mean, if it was anyone taking over that role, probably wouldn't fine. Like, long as that happened. If it was just him being on the leash, like the whole movie, and dealing with that, and slowly coming to like his humanity on his own, that would be a rough watch.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan Freeman just brings so much charisma to the screen. It's like he just fits so well with with the character and with the situation that. Yeah, he was a very good choice for that role.
I agree. I think there could have been a few others who might have been able to pull it off, but I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Seth Rogen?
No. No. Well, You know,
I
Seth
can do
Rogen could have maybe done okay at it.
No, don't say that.
Are you
He,
sure
he would
about that?
he would have done okay, like not good, not like amazing, but like I've seen him do some like more serious stuff that you go, okay, he kind of had some serious chops to him. It's not all just the weed humor.
Yeah, but charismatic? I don't know about that.
Yeah. 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 Trying to think who else would have been okay in that role. No one. Morgan
I
Freeman.
literally can't think of anyone else
Michael
right now.
Caine. Michael Caine would have been okay.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
But it'd be different because then they wouldn't be moving back to New York. He's like, I'm from here.
Yeah, true.
You're not Scottish. Doesn't matter. I'm from here. Because everybody there is English, apparently. Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts, queries, questions, comments?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I know we've missed a couple scenes, but I don't really have anything to say about them.
Yeah, they were fine scenes.
Mhm.
Or they weren't fine scenes. You be the judge.
Yeah.
And other than like, what do you think about Bob as a villain? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
call him a villain.
Yeah, he's been a
he was
villain. He's been a villain a few times. I've always enjoyed him as any role he chooses.
Yeah, he did
was
a
a
good.
great-
He did a good job.
He did a good job. He's a good Smee. He's a good detective with Roger Rabbit.
He was
Yeah.
the best part of the Mario Brothers movie.
True, he was.
Yeah, I think he did a good job in this movie. A little over the top at times, threatening at times. I enjoyed his performance.
Mm-hmm.
He does like very good threats when he's like angry. He does a very good job at it.
He does angry very good.
And it's interesting how many different like accents he can pull off. Because if you don't recall, he was also in Behind Enemy Lines, being like the Soviet general or whatever.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, he's doing that English accent.
Well, he is from the UK.
And in Roger Rabbit, he's doing an American accent.
Yeah.
And also in Mario Brothers doing the Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. He's very versatile, or was very versatile.
Good old Bob. Everyone loved Bob.
Good old Bobby.
All right.
Cool. So final thoughts time then?
Sure. Go ahead and.
Remember, we changed the order.
Yep.
Well, I mean, technically, we didn't.
It's technically this one's gonna be the same order, so me being first.
But thank you for
All
the
right.
reminder.
Yes. So Unleashed. I thought it was a great movie. I've seen it. I saw it several times, like when it was new, when it first came out. I remember enjoying it a lot when I was much younger. And yeah, then I completely forgot about it until now. So it was very nice going back to it. I really liked the acting from everyone, from Jet Li, Bob Hoskins, and Morgan Freeman mainly. But yeah, I thought everyone else also did a pretty good job. The story was pretty good. It kept you interested in what was going to happen next. Fight scenes, as you guys pointed out, was not the best, but I personally didn't mind too much because I knew they were trying to do like something different with just him being an attack dog and just trying to do something different with like the fight choreography. But overall, I am going to give it a 4 out of 5.
All right. I'm next. I'm kind of like down the middle on this movie. I think it's good, not bad. It's just kind of like down the middle. I wouldn't call it mediocre. I just say it's good. Just kind of like a good movie. I almost wish that they didn't go back to like action at the end. Like the last action would have been Bob, them getting hit by the truck. But I understand why they had to go back. Because then the movie would be maybe a little bit too much, lovey-dovey, gushy, But yeah, I found the fight choreography to not be good. I didn't like how this movie was shot. I mean, I don't mind like the 2000s movie editing and stuff like that, but I really wanted to see more of like the fight going on, and when the cuts are so snappy, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on. And then some moments in the movie just kind of felt fake, which obviously you guys probably already know. And then I felt like it was a little bit awkward at times between Danny and the girl in the movie, because it seemed like they wanted to do like a romantic thing, but things just move way too fast for some of these for the characters to like to do that. And then also there were some characters who I felt like they needed more screen time or more story behind them, because they just kind of showed up and then never came back, or there was no conclusion to what they were doing. But there was a fair amount of scenes that I liked in the movie. Morgan Freeman was great. Jet Li was great. Bob Haskins was great. So all in all, I think I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5.
All right. Yeah, I agree with Yemmy saying that the fighting scenes weren't necessarily there. Definitely could have seen a little bit more of that. I felt like some people took too much of a beating, like that guy in the robe at the end. I felt like the acting was great. Jet Li, Bob, Morgan Freeman, all of them, did a wonderful job. Story, it was all right. I do agree that the scene with Danny and the little girl were a little off-putting, and I'm also gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
All right. I mean, you guys pretty much have. This is the great thing about being last, is I can just be like, yeah, you guys pretty much hit all the points. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. Like I said, acting great, fighting scenes, story was fine. Overall, I think I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Alrighty then.
Okay. So we have a winner for the fan vote, which happened last episode. And the winner was Soylent Green, which was recommended by Chameleon, who I believe should be joining us for the next episode. We just need to set that up with her. Soylent Green from 1973, directed by Richard Fleischer. And the synopsis is: in an overpopulated futuristic Earth, a New York police detective finds himself marked for murder by government agents when he gets too close to a bizarre state secret involving the origins of a revolutionary and needed new foodstuff. I guess I think
stuff.
Yeah, that's what this says at the end here. Needed new foodstuff. I believe Chameleon recommended this movie because this movie takes place in the 2020s.
I believe it happens in 2022.
Yeah, so perfect timing.
I'm familiar with the movie. I know the twist and everything just because it's been memed to death, but I still have actually never seen it, so this will be fun.
Oh. Well, don't spoil it because I don't know what the twist is.
Yeah, me neither.
I won't.
I don't know.
I won't. And I'm excited that we'll actually have our first lady on the podcast.
Fingers crossed. Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I did. I jinxed it. I'm sorry, guys.
Curse you, Tay.
This movie is available on Amazon, iTunes, Vudu, all that stuff, and it stars Carlton Heston, Lee Taylor Young, Chuck Connors, Joseph Cotton, Brock Peters, Joyce Williams, and a bunch of other people as well. So there you go. Pretty easy to find. Good thing. And it'll be interesting to watch this, especially with how with how 2022 is going. We'll see if we can draw any parallels.
So it was made in the 1970s again, right?
Yep, 1973.
Yep.
I guarantee it. There's one flying car joke in this movie. No, I'm kidding.
Well, there might be a flying car. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, Back to the Future thought we were gonna have flying cars by, what was it, 2010s?
2017.
Yeah, 2017. So.
We'll see.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm excited to watch it.
Cool.
And yes, of course, if you, the listener, don't want to be spoiled for the big twist in Soylent Green, just make sure you watch it before the next episode airs in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Where can we find it, Yemmy?
Deja Vu. Amazon, Vudu, iTunes.
Okay.
Yeah.
HBO Max
Is it on HBO Max? I didn't see that.
says on it.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
Okay.
Cool.
Probably watch it there then.
Even better. Yeah, I don't have to rent it.
Alrighty. Anyone else have anything they want to mention before we end the show?
Don't forget to clean your ass.
One last thing I want to say is Yemi, one day I hope that we meet person to person, like face to face, and when we do, I really hope that the kiss is wet and nice.
Oh,
I'll try to live up to those expectations.
You can just give me a hug, Yemmy.
guys, my mom. No, I'm kidding. All right.
Well, I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with,
Greedy waffles.
Day mission.
And callous.
and we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Clean your ass.
I was going to say we are wet and whatever, but I forgot the line, so.
Wet freaks.
Are you gonna say we are farmers?
We are farmers. All right.
We are Film Freaks. It works.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. New theme song.
New
Good.
slogan.
Now we're gonna get copyrighted.
The old guy from the commercials will come to our door and be like, I ain't selling you insurance. I'm selling you a cease and desist.
Hey, that's fine if I can get J.K. Simmons autographed.
Yeah. Like, I'll take
I will
this.
cease,
I'll
I
accept
will
that.
cease and desist for an autograph.